A luxury hotel in Harare is usually a peaceful place to enjoy an expensive drink. Unfortunately for everyone present, Mark Sibanda had arrived, a centimillionaire, estate owner and full-time nuisance. Mark was busy reminding hotel staff that he believed customer service and royal treatment were the same thing. A waiter was receiving a lecture he had never asked for, when a woman sitting nearby finally looked up from her drink.
Has anyone ever told you that you're exhausting?
The room went quiet. Mark turned. Most people feared him. This woman clearly had not received the memo. One conversation became an argument. The argument became laughter. The laughter became an entire evening of stories. Nashe Moyo, a Zimbabwean nurse visiting her ill mother from New Zealand, discovered that beneath Mark's oversized ego was a surprisingly interesting man. Mark discovered that Nashe was one of the few people on Earth completely unimpressed by his money. She reminded him of his first wife, Gwendolyn, the woman who helped him build everything he had. Before the evening ended, Mark extended an invitation. A family weekend at his luxurious Mazowe estate, fresh air, beautiful scenery, and a chance to escape city life. The estate itself was magnificent. The family, however, was another matter entirely. Luxury vehicles rolled through the gates. Children laughed. Peacocks wandered through the gardens. Staff rushed about preparing meals. And somewhere in the middle of all this beauty stood Mark Sibanda, doing what he did best, irritating absolutely everybody. His sons were frustrated with him. His daughters-in-law were tired of him. His ex-wife, Gwendolyn, hated the very sight of him. The staff complained about him whenever he hasn't been paying them enough. Stingy, they called him. Even his glamorous young trophy wife, Melissa, seemed to require extraordinary patience to survive a single conversation with him, not to mention a hefty monetary compensation to pretend to love him. Nashe watched quietly. The longer she observed, the clearer the picture became. Every smile looked forced. Every joke contained an insult. Every family gathering felt like a peace treaty waiting to collapse. But this, to put it simply, was a family suffocated by an overbearing, controlling patriarch who enjoyed throwing bones to dogs. Mark Sibanda believed modesty was a condition suffered by people with fewer achievements. So naturally, the evening ended with a tour of everything he owned that could impress, intimidate, or make a relative jealous. Priceless artwork, rare artifacts, and family treasures filled room after room, each accompanied by a story from Mark himself. The self-made centimillionaire proudly revisited his journey from village boy to business giant, while the family listened with a mixture of admiration and exhaustion. By the time the tour ended, everyone had seen enough wealth to purchase a small country. The family both admired and resented the collection. As the weekend continued, tensions grew, arguments flared, secrets lurked behind polite smiles. A gardener behaved suspiciously. Staff whispered endlessly. Vicky, the quiet young woman everyone overlooked. Nashe curiously lingering on the biometric vault lock. By the following morning, the diamonds were gone. Panic erupted. Mark demanded answers. His sons accused each other. Old grudges resurfaced. Family members exchanged enough blame to power the national electricity grid for a week. Convinced he had found the culprit, Mark immediately pointed a finger at Melissa and Tawanda. After all, they were having an affair. Traitors are capable of anything. Unfortunately for Mark, the evidence remained unimpressed. While everyone else concentrated on shouting, Nashe concentrated on thinking. Security records didn't make sense. Timelines didn't match. Several suspects appeared guilty until the facts stubbornly refused to cooperate. Piece by piece, every theory collapsed. Except one, the peacocks. Since the theft, the birds had become deeply offended by a particular flower bed. They scratched at it, paced around it, and refused to leave it alone. Most people considered this a peacock problem. Nashe considered it an evidence problem. She ordered the spot to be dug up. Minutes later, workers uncovered the missing velvet pouch. Silence swept across the estate. Then Nashe turned toward Vicky.
The diamonds were never the point. They were only leverage. I wasn't trying to become rich. I was trying to become free.
The truth finally emerged. For years, Mark had controlled every aspect of Vicky's future. He had paid for her education and promised opportunity. But whenever independence appeared within reach, something always happened. Job opportunities disappeared. Relationships failed. Mainly sabotaged by Mark Sibanda, who paid off all her boyfriends, and exiled the one who turned down his money to the rural areas after going after his job, and making sure he will never get a respectable one ever again. For the first time all weekend, nobody interrupted. The diamonds were returned. The mystery was solved. The family was humbled. And Mark Sibanda received a lesson wealth could never buy. The peacocks continued scratching the garden. The family remained chaotic. Mark remained difficult. Some things, after all, are simply too mysterious to solve.